Hello painters. Next video we have here for the party, we're gonna take a plain piece of paper, add some blobs, and make them into leaves. Look at that, nice and easy. So I'm gonna show you how to start. Again, I'm looking at my watercolor paper. The side with a little more texture on it tends to be the front side. And then I wet all of my colors here a little bit ago, just so they'd be nice and softened with just a drop of water, and I could get the colors I want out of there. And now I'm gonna make 4 vertical ovals. I'll leave this one out so you can see it. And in those 4 vertical ovals, I'm gonna start with water, actually. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm gonna do what's called a wash with wet into wet. Ooh, fun technique names, right? So I have just clear water on my brush. Hopefully you can kind of see it. Maybe I'll add a little color to the next one so you can see. I'm gonna choose some colors, get some colors on my brush. And then because it's already wet, look, they blend and move together. Lovely. I can add another color. And I get this really interesting movement in the paint, and I can see how it's gonna react. I can learn from it. What if I go darker? What if I go lighter? I can come around and set that edge more definitely if I wanted to, or I could just let it kind of blend. I can let these little things happen, and really cool interesting things happen. It's one of my favorite things about watercolors is it does a lot of work for you. So now let's see, what if I did some green? Ooh, I didn't wet it first. So we'll leave a little green on the brush. Yes? No? Is there a little green in there? Just a little. I only want a little so you can see. So a little bit of green. There we go. So I'm going to add another oval over here with just water. Anytime you add water to the paper first, you're making what's called a wash. And now let's add some green. Ooh, so fun. Let's do blue. If you make sound effects, it does work better, I find. So maybe we go here, maybe I add some dots, see what happens. See what that does. Let the watercolor play. Sometimes I do a little, I leave it alone. Just leave it alone. It's a good rule for watercolor. Let it do what it wants to do. Oh, I missed a little spot. It's dry there. I want that to mix, so let's do that. All right, now, let's see. Brush looks pretty wet. I'm gonna add the next oval. Fill that in. So the goal is to get a nice layer of water. Let's try some red this time. Looks like the red needs a little more water in with it. If I'm not sure how thick or how translucent the paint is, if I want it to be more transparent or more opaque so I can't see through it, I can kind of test it in my palette while I mix it. I like to go a little bit darker than I know I'm going to be on here because there's already water here, so it's going to thin it somewhat. Let's do purple. Let's see, one purple there, and then let's see, what about orange? I could do multiple colors. Voila. And let those blend. And I can kind of play with my mark a little bit. See what I get. And one more. I could let the colors mix here. I can also mix colors up here. So maybe I start before I even get to the page with sort of a purpley color that I know I'm going to put on here, and that's pretty light. So let's see what a lighter color does. So I make my wet oval again on the page, like so. And then let's take this color. It's pretty light, so I could probably put this everywhere if I wanted. And then blend other colors on top. And I can like I said, I can let the edge be soft, or I can go just past the edge where it was wet, and I'll get a really nice crisp line. Whenever I want to make a line, I set my hand on the table and I make one smooth pass. If you dab at it, you tend not to get a clean line. All right, let's do some more purple. I'm kind of liking how the purple is. Oh, it's a lot dark purple. Too dark. If it's too dark, look what I can do. I can get more water on my brush and blend it, and it lightens it up a ton. So I can do that and play with it that way. Maybe I want it darker, and I'm gonna let it go and do what it's going to do and see what would happen if I just do some lines. There we go, and let it play and move on its own. Well, I don't know. What's it going to do? So there we go. I have the water in there. I let it play. I'm gonna swap sides here. Move this one over, clean off my brush, let it dry. I don't like to keep my brush in here because it loosens the bristles, and this is wood underneath this coating, and it can kind of loosen. And so I like to wet the brush, clean it up, and kind of move it out. And notice I've used this once and it's already stained. It doesn't matter. It means I get to use the brush. So I think I'm okay with stains. Now I'm just going to take patterns and textures, and I can do all kinds of different things to create the idea of leaves. So all I've done is play with ovals, and look, it becomes something just with a little bit of doodling on it. So here's some possibles. I'll talk a little bit about what I did in these just to give you some idea. Maybe with this one. So I took this, I did one curved line all the way up to the top. I did a zigzaggedy line around the side, kind of come in different directions. I did longer zigzags toward the bottom. Doesn't matter, you don't have to do that. And then I just made dashed lines at an upward angle to get the idea of veins in the leaf. Probably could have matched up where they meet, but it's all good. Doesn't matter. So there's one. This one I thought was kind of fun, and it's basically, again, the seam up the middle, make a little teardroppy shape in the middle, and then I did just some signs out the side. And I did it sketchy because then it doesn't matter when I mess it up, right? And then I added these little like teardroppy shapes kind of around the outside, and I get the impression of little leaves this way. I can make it thicker down here if I want, add a second one, or I can just leave it, doesn't matter. This one I thought was fun. It's kind of oniony looking. That one I just made one line, came to a point, and if it goes on and off the edge, it doesn't matter because it's, you know, it's just fun. And then I took these lines thinking of like the peels of an onion and came around. Maybe this time I'll start here. Noticing if I do that, they're all going to start here, where here they kind of end. So maybe I'll go the same way. I don't know if I like that edge there or not. Maybe I'll add a few from the thing. So it's play. Let yourself have fun and play. That's the best thing watercolor. Watercolor kind of plays when you work with it. So can you. This one is simply the shape and then the veins in it. So again, you can have fun. You could do like other little lopey things. You can simply do one teardrop shape, a line up the middle, have your straight lines line up so that it looks like it's kind of matched in the middle. Play however you like, but you can have a lot of fun with really just sort of sketchy leaf designs, and you end up with this just sort of interesting leafy look, and it's just easy and fun, very organic looking.